Howdy, my name is Marcus Hansen, and today I'll be presenting this paper on in-process monitoring of porosity during laser additive manufacturing process by Zhang from the School of Mechanical Engineering of Purdue University, which was published in Additive Manufacturing. I'm presenting this as part of the MSc in 660 Informatics class for the Deep Learning Journal Club presentation. A quick overview of this work is porosity and other defects are a major contributing factor when determining the properties and quality of additively manufactured parts. The porosity measurements are typically done with either destructive techniques such as cross-section and polishing, or expensive non-destructive techniques such as CT scanning. And this paper aims to use a deep learning based method to monitor and predict porosity using a high-speed digital camera and convolutional neural network to monitor the melt pool. Laser additive manufacturing processes are useful for a variety of reasons, including the design freedom to print just about any geometry that you can model, as well as material efficiency, that waste low material compared to subtractive processes, and as well as short lead times, which is very beneficial for prototypes and low quantity parts. However, these AM processes are very complex, and there are a multitude of variables involved during the melting solidification process, which can lead to defects which are detrimental to the material's properties. Porosity is a big one that can lead to an overall decrease in strength and toughness of the material. Some additive manufacturing processes, the porosity is intended, so you want to be able to control the specific amount of porosity within your parts. Some other defects, which we'll get into in this paper, are lack of fusion and cracking, which are also detrimental to additively manufactured parts. The methodology for this paper was using directed energy deposition, specifically an Optimec Lin 750 machine, which blows powder at the substrate while using a laser to melt that powder as it converges on a central spot with a melt pool of roughly 660 microns diameter. For this project, they used a camera focused on the melt pool with a resolution of 640 by 480, capturing high speed at 395 frames per second. To prevent the camera from being overloaded, they used a bandpass filter to block out some of the intensity of the wavelengths of the melt pool, and then using a green laser to illuminate the melt pool, which provided a good result. And they printed 5 15mm single tracks at varying speeds from 1 to 4 millimeters per second and varying power. 4 of these were examined using cross-section analysis, and then the last one was inspected using X-ray CT. Image processing and data standardization is very important for the input data for neural networks to ensure that you get a good result. To do this, they captured microscopy images of the cross-sectioned image, which were then stitched together, and then were standardized for rotation and cropping. Next, the images were binarized to just be black and white, so that the pores will show black on the white background of the material itself, and then the pore boundaries were processed using that black and white mask. The pore features were examined to reject or accept specific pores as pores or not, such as in the bottom left image. You can see there was a scratch or some other defect, maybe from the polishing process, that is not circular, and so it was rejected as a pore, while on the right side of that figure 3 there is a circular pore that is eccentric and accepted as a pore. The convolutional neural network was trained using input of the melt pool images that were cropped to 224 by 224 pixels, and the melt pool was centered in the image. It used a rectified linear unit activation function and it was then trained using backpropagation and a stochastic gradient descent. The model was trained using the melt pool input data and correlated to the location of the pores on the cross-section images as well as the non-destructive CT scans. So it was trained so that each melt pool was either classified to have a pore in it or not based on the inspection methods. Table 2 in the bottom left shows the architecture of the convolutional neural network, which shows 5 convolutional layers as well as 3 fully connected nodes with 2 outputs at the end for either binary 0 or 1 classifying if the region has a pore or not. So for the results, the model had the highest accuracy using a pore size threshold of 10 micron diameter or less, as well as 5 convolutional neural networks. The tables in the bottom left show the accuracy of the model over different size thresholds, showing that at low size thresholds and at very high size thresholds the accuracy tends to go down. And table 4 shows the accuracy testing different numbers of convolutional layers, which they mostly perform the same after 3, but 5 showed the greatest accuracy. The image on the right shows the 10 micron pore threshold size as well as the misclassified samples marked in red X's. The middle image shows the measured porosity from the CT scan as either binary true false for if a region has a pore in it or not, and then which can be kind of taken as a ground truth, and then below is the predicted porosity status measured using the convolutional neural network, and we can see that it closely aligns with the actual porosity status measured from the CT scan. For the results, the confusion matrix on the left shows very good accuracy overall, with the vast majority of predictions being correct, while there was 15 that were predicted to be no pore were actually a pore, and 16 that were predicted to be a pore but were actually not a pore. And on the right, there's a pie chart showing the misclassification for each of those 31 samples, and we can see that the majority of them were from the 0 to 10 micron samples. So it can be seen that at much lower sizes, the accuracy of the model goes down significantly, and going up in each of these sizes, the smaller the pore, the more samples that were misclassified, with the 40 to 50 micron having the least number of samples misclassified. Here are the results of the predicted and measured local volume porosity for 2 of the test samples. The blue on the top shows the predicted local volume porosity from the convolutional neural network, while the red line is the actual measured local volume porosity. We can see that both these lines, the prediction follows the measured very closely, which helps confirm that the model has a high accuracy. For the test number 4, the same thing, with the green line being the prediction and the purple line being the measurement. This one also follows the prediction follows the measurement fairly well. There are a few areas in the left side and the right side where it seems to deviate more than the test 1, but overall it shows a very good accuracy that aligns with predictions aligned with the measurements. Some key takeaways for this paper is that the authors showed a successful in-process monitoring technique for detecting porosity during laser additive manufacturing with an accuracy of 91.2% and a root mean squared error of 1.32% using images of the melt pool to predict the resulting porosity, as well as showed that deep learning models are promising tools for AM part quality predictions that can use in-process monitoring instead of destructive or expensive non-destructive testing to determine part qualities after printing. Lastly, the future accuracy of this process can be improved with a higher resolution camera, or higher resolution and higher frame rate camera. As we saw with some of the misclassification, a lot of the misclassified pores were very small, and so a higher resolution camera could help capture more features from the melt pool to predict porosity that were otherwise not able to be captured. Thank you very much for time listening to this. Bye.